To men in time of peace, hours, days and weeks mean little, but to men in war, minutes become vital, and minutes have grown into months with the Defenders of Tobruk. In this heroic stand of men isolated from the army of the Nile, except by sea, we have a story of Australians who welcome hardship so long as they're in the fight, and whose initiative overcomes what may appear insuperable difficulties. Watches are checked so that new patrols will make a simultaneous move out into the night, and the enemy who lies ahead. Night, and dim figures cautiously make their way across rough terrain. Night has fallen on the arid lands, and adventurous patrols almost feel their way through the darkness to surprise an enemy, capture a post, or bring back prisoners for information. From now on, it will be all men working for their patrol, but each man acting as an individual fighter with split-second initiative for which the Australians are famous. Morning, and the front-line covering troops off duty have stolen a little rest. Little enough it was, they think, as they come back to consciousness, refreshed by sleep, which maybe transferred them in their dreams to far-away Australia. It has been a tough night, but it does not upset the appetite of these bronzed Australians. Beef, which originally roamed Australian hills, is now bully, and the men fall too. Outside, shells may be falling, but the Aussie won't be disturbed from his breakfast. The arrival of another patrol coming back in the morning's light is awaited. The enemy greets the sun with shrapnel bursts towards the home-going patrols. The spotter mans his precarious and unenviable perch to help British artillery lay its guns. More patrols come in, worn and weary after skirmishing through the nights. It needs only a look at these types to know why Tobruk has been held for over 6 months of almost ceaseless fighting. They've been 5 miles into no man's land, but nothing can shake their casualness. This is the forward meeting point on the return, close to the perimeter wire. A Bren gun carrier dashes about looking for stragglers and wounded. A casualty is brought in, and after 5 hours tense walking, they're not sorry to be home. The patrol pauses at the grave of Australia's first Victoria Cross winner of this war. 10,000 miles away in Sydney, the mother of this hero who sacrificed himself for his comrades receives the posthumous award. No one can know the depths of feeling of Corporal Edmondson's father and mother, but all the world knows of his heroism. Wrecks strew Tobruk harbour, grim relics of encounters that were lost. But Australian initiative has taken advantage of disaster, and ship's ventilators help to bring comfort to men underground. The original ship of the desert. Behind the magnificent defences of the area is the brilliant planning of an experienced staff. General Moorehead's name will always be associated with the siege. Casualties in the defended area have been comparatively small, a tribute to the General and his officers. General Moorehead is centre. The patrols have brought news of enemy movement outside the perimeter. It may develop into a major action. Tank corps will be needed. For 6 long months they have been waiting, fighting in turn the enemy and deadly monotony. A British armoured division played a splendid part in the original capture of Tobruk and the rest of Cyrenaica. All they hope for now is action, and in a big way. There are more things to contend with than spit and polish and these hard-work tanks. They have lost their parade ground spick and span, but in the hands of now thoroughly experienced men, they are more deadly efficient than ever before. A large body of seasoned engineers, fitters, turners, toil long hours in the field workshop to keep them rolling. Old wrecks are carefully hoarded and used to make temporarily disabled tanks fit again for action. In modern war, infantry move forward behind the cover afforded by armored vehicles. But enemy spotters have seen the movement and trouble is brewing. Air alarm! The raid is coming, and it's going to be a big one. Tobruk knows that sound as well as London and Berlin. Strong anti-aircraft defenses are manned once more. It's a daily routine. The town has been raided many hundreds of times, almost always fruitlessly. Rarely does a raid mean casualties. Out of the west, the Stukas come sweeping to meet a wall of steel. They haven't it all their own way. Death rains from the skies, but screams back into the heavens from the muzzles of 100 guns. A derelict truck placed as a decoy takes the lot. A good bomb has destroyed a bad truck. Hell let loose is part of the daily lives of the Defenders of Tobruk. Fighter planes cannot protect Tobruk. The distance to their bases is too great, but the Huns have learned to respect the men who man the guns on the ground. Weaving wildly to avoid the barrage, the bombers head for the harbor, where shipping still afloat is a constant target. Screaming down from 10,000 feet, they unload their deadly missiles. The Stukas take toll, and the Defenders their revenge. It is hardly likely that a pilot could have survived, but diggers take no chances. Mute evidence of the accuracy of British gunners. Tons of diggers, and the breed holds good. The debt that this nation and the civilized world owes to these men cannot be measured. Theirs is a spirit which will survive. Theirs an achievement for all history to see. Beside Anzac goes another magic name, a name that was forged in suffering and sacrifice by the gallant, indomitable, unconquerable Defenders of Tobruk.